The year 1970 has historical significance in Trinidad and Tobago. It was a time when the country was caught in the distress of an independent nation still trying to find its identity. Despair was felt most strongly in the marginalized groups, and the Black Power movement attempted to give them a voice through rebellion and mutiny. But this was a critical year in the history of Trinidad and Tobago for other reasons as well. Amid the demonstrations and protests, another kind of revolution was quietly taking place. One man searched within himself for answers to questions that burned his soul. Questions that would lead him on a journey to follow the light into the darkness. I sought my soul I could not see. I sought my God eluded me. I sought my brother and found all three. In the hills of Laventil, Father Gerard Pantin, a Roman Catholic priest, and Mr. Wesley Hall, a world-famous cricketer who was on a coaching assignment in Trinidad, asked a simple question: how can we help you? This question formed a foundation of hope for the hopeless, and it has echoed across decades to touch the lives of all who have dared to respond.
Our name is Servall. We are ordinary men and women.
How can we help you?
Motorists heading into the capital city, Port of Spain, are familiar with the Servol Beetham Life Center. Because of its visibility, many passers-by view this center as all there is to Servol, a lone flagship battling for the abandoned, neglected and the oppressed.
The only knowledge they have of Servol is passing on the highway and seeing the building, and then it's quite a surprise when they come and see the magnitude of what we do here.
I thought it was a place for bad boys to go and occupy their time during the day and take them off the streets with no real results, and I was wrong.
People who have the stigma of Servol and they don't Servol that kind of way, they really don't understand. So we need to rethink and look at what Servol is really doing.
What Servol offers is much more than a way to pass the time. Through its early childhood care and education centers, junior life centers, adolescent development programs, special schools, skill training centers, parent outreach programs, high-tech centers, advanced skills center, and its 600-member staff, this beacon of hope has brought more than 70,000 trainees to Safe Harbor and has given them a second chance.
It changed my life and I was really different, and if it could change my life, I guess it could change anybody's.
The teachers in Servol, they care a lot. They will come to find out how you're going, what's been going on, how your family going, and it helps, really helps. Little things that you wouldn't take for granted, it really helps.
Servol offers hope to everyone it encounters, staff and student alike. In the book, The Silent Prophet, Father Pantin made an observation that holds true even to today. As the years unfolded, more and more people joined the trek up the hill for periods which varied from a few months to a few years. And in nearly every case, they each came not primarily to give of themselves, but to find something. We were quite prepared to climb the hill of Laventille. But, far more important, each of us had his or her own personal hill to climb. Servall's mission involves bringing ordinary people together. There are no superhumans here. They are ordinary men and women willing to share the hope they have found.
When you approach a parent who may have been just at home, children, no immunization, no registration, no birth certificate, they're all over the place, no schooling, and after maybe 3 or 4 years you see the same parent working, children in school. I mean, what greater impact can you ask for?
So, when most other concerned citizens were giving handouts and donations, Servall immediately said people must contribute to their own development.
We try to empower people both at an individual level, from children to youngsters. We try to empower communities to help them to take the reins of their own development in their hands. And we try to empower even the national community.
When we think of people as poor, we have difficulty seeing ability and possibility. Servall maintains that the most important thing in developing human potential is the voice of the people. Everything is done in response to the expressed needs of the people being served.
Respectful individuals. So we'll not go into our community and force a building or tell them we come into your community. No. Once the community wants to work in the community, only then so will go in the community.
There is ample evidence that when a community succeeds in implementing any idea that is genuinely its own, it will always take a second and third step towards further development. This philosophy worked at that first encounter in Laventille, when the response was, "Give us a football." And it continues to work even when the response requires the building of centers and development of high-tech programs.
That is our focus, looking at the positives, looking at what we can do to create, to transform this person who is rough around the edges into this well-rounded individual. And it really takes a lot of work.
Each center is managed by a board of education, made up of Servall staff and members of the surrounding community. While Servall provides teachers, guidance, and assistance, management decisions are made by the respective boards.
When we work with children, we also ensure that we include parents, we include community and various stakeholders within the community. So Servall really is about, working collaboratively with different agencies, different stakeholders to ensure the whole person.
Quite early on, Servall learned that the answers to that now famous question, "How can we help you?" included many more dimensions than what can be addressed through skills development alone.
You realize that's what Servall is about. It's not so much just bringing children to teach a skill. It's teaching children to reorganize their whole life.
The youth are not trusting anymore. It's a different type of youth we're dealing now in this era, They have been hurt, they have been let down, they have had promises broken by the people who are closest to them. So who is you as a stranger?
They come and say, okay, it's another school or another institution, and they would give their normal behavior, whether it's good or bad. And the response that they get is what makes a difference.
If something is wrong with that training, we pry until we could find what is wrong with that training, because if we do not know, it wouldn't function properly. So basically, it's not just about teaching, it's also about getting to know the individual, even here, and at their lifestyle at home.
To truly prepare its trainees to function effectively in their selected vocations and in society, Servall had to rekindle hope in hearts that were too familiar with disappointment, hurt, and rejection. Its answer was the Adolescent Development Program.
in the ADP, we have what we call the 3 core areas. Those are the areas that are what I term to be the pulse of the delivery of the program. That is the self-awareness, the spirituality, and the parenting.
This 3.5-month-long program focuses on self-understanding and developing positive self-esteem and confidence. It is a prerequisite for all training programs.
Every 3 months here, we see the miracle of human transformation. We see young people come to us battered, angry, disillusioned, and in 3 months you see them full of hope, full of promise, and raring to go. And that's what we're about, at every level.
It's easy to teach people techniques, but the attitude is a different thing. They have a good attitude mostly. You know, you can't get 100% perfect in anything, and if it didn't work out for us, we would not have continued so, rigorously with Servall.
The trainees are doing what is expected of them. They were well-mannered, they were kind, they were courteous, they know how to deal with the clients, they're honest, you don't have to worry about them. If they come into your shop and they come for a certain area, you will teach them and they are willing to learn.
What makes the ADP the cornerstone of Servall's success is not only the impact it has on the trainees, but also the impact it has on staff as well.
We get an appreciation for life itself, and to incorporate other people and people's feelings, and it will remind you if you had forgotten values and morals and so on. So that of itself is what makes the program so special and unique and different.
It helps you to internalize, to soul search. It does so much for you as a person. I mean, you say to yourself, I've been to high school, I've been to elementary school, I've been to university, college, but I have never been exposed to this kind of training.
When Servall articulates total human development and respectful intervention, this extends to all who are within the Servall fold. Not only do new staff members experience the ADP program firsthand as part of their pre-service training, but continuous training support provides them with the tools they need to give their best every day.
We attend workshops, and they always seem to have an impact on the way we do things. But sometimes you get bogged down into your way of doing things because maybe it's easier. But if you look down the road, is it really a benefit to the young person in front of you? And we always have to be reminding ourselves.
We have to be on the cutting edge of the technology, yes, especially as far as the teaching techniques are concerned. And from that perspective, we upgrade as we go along and we follow best practices. But as far as the philosophy and the mission is concerned, that has not changed.
Servall's early childhood care and education centers are designed to bring out the best in every child. Teachers are educated in best practices at the Model Center in Port of Spain, under the supervision of the Regional Training and Resource Center. Children are encouraged to express themselves and even at this tender age to take charge of their learning.
Not all children find a place in the formal education system. Many struggle with feelings of embarrassment and anxiety at failing standardized exams and being labeled stupid. At its junior life centers, Servall offers these children a place they can learn to love themselves and gain literacy and numeracy skills that will allow them to function in society.
The Adolescent Development Program helps 16 to 19-year-olds safely explore new aspects of themselves and step outside their comfort zone, gain confidence and realize their full potential. The program covers fundamental skills such as reading, writing and mathematics, but also includes activities that focus on spirituality, social awareness and creative expression, and has a family life component that aims at developing self-awareness and parenting skills. Additional support is provided through the Trainee Extended Support Team, which offers one-on-one counseling, motivational discussions, and art analysis. The ADP program has also been introduced to at-risk secondary schools, where students are guided through the process of self-discovery. In collaboration with the Ministry of Education, Servall is now working on expanding this effort into more secondary schools.
Servall's skills development and trade courses are designed to effect a positive change in adolescent attitudes toward the world of work. Trainees are given opportunities to gain employable skills that many cannot access elsewhere. Offered at its regional skill training centers throughout Trinidad, the skills training also includes a job training component that provides trainees with valuable job experience that prepares them for real-life working experiences.
Recognizing that information technology is playing an increasingly vital role in the world, Servall introduced its high-tech centers. With the help of the Inter-American Development Bank, computer labs were established and courses such as computer literacy, computer repairs and computer networking were offered. These centers are also offering Saturday courses in graphic design to the general public.
Located at the Laramine Regional Life Center in South Trinidad, the Advanced Skills Center offers trainees entry into the world of heavy industries. Courses such as compressor mechanics, industrial instrumentation, and general industrial maintenance give students eligibility for jobs in the petroleum industry. These programs were awarded City and Guilds accreditation in 2012, making Servall one of the few organizations in Trinidad and Tobago approved to offer City and Guilds international examinations.
Every child can learn. This has been Servall's attitude since 1972 when it opened its first special school. Servall's vision is for an individual to have a holistic education through the system of special education, where there are no barriers, so as to enable the child to be prepared for life. In 1993, Servall turned its attention to the babies and toddlers who were not reached by the early childhood program. Through facilitators trained in social work and child development, it created a support system for parents by providing encouragement and guidance in the development of appropriate parenting practices. The Parent Outreach Program gives participants opportunities to express themselves and strengthen feelings of self-worth, while gaining marketable skills so that they can generate much-needed income.
Every organization of Servall's size and complexity shoulders the burden of achieving effectiveness and maintaining efficiency.
Because there are so many skills and so many people involved, there's need to monitor to make sure that quality is delivered on a daily basis.
Not everything works perfectly, and there is a delicate balance between the needs of the organization and the needs of its workers.
Servall is not perfect, has never been, and I don't think will ever be. And in fact, our mission is not to become perfect, because then we will not be able to identify with human imperfection.
It has always been this way for Servall. In 1984, Father Pantin wrote,
To survive as an organization, we must be very productive, or else there will be no money. We must pour ourselves into the service of others, or else the motivation and idealism will disappear. And we must support each other, forgive each other, and comfort each other, or else we will collapse.
This is exactly what Servall has done and continues to do through systematic review of its courses and programs, establishment of a quality control system, expansion of services, development of partnerships, annually celebrating a day of solidarity, and offering credit union services to its staff.
This business that we are in is the business of life, and we can't go at life on our own, not even alone as Servall. We always need to draw strength from somewhere to be able to encourage the children that come before us.
We are unique in very, very many ways. Very, very unique. And as the founder always said, we are a grassroots organization. But it doesn't stop us from being at the cutting edge.
Caring for communities has also extended to the buildings Servall occupies. In an architectural experiment that demonstrates Servall's innovation and environmental consciousness, the Freeport Life Center is positioned to optimize the flow of air and sunlight, making it the first green building of its kind in Servall.
It's not just looking back 42 years on the road, 42 years of progress, 42 years of service. It's not only that. It is looking forward. Servall is always looking forward.
As a non-profit organization, Servall depends heavily on government subvention, corporate sponsorship, and donor generosity to keep its programs running.
The government over the years have increased our subvention, so they help us with salaries. We have to find money for everything else.
While many similar organizations offer classes at no cost to students, Servall charges a small fee. Each center conducts its own fundraising events under the management of its Board of Education. And every year, Servall hosts an event called the Poor Man's Dinner at the Trinidad Hilton. The brainchild of Father Pantin, this fundraiser dates back to the early days of the organization. Servall approaches the task of making each dollar count in its own unique Servallian way by incorporating members of the community.
On the whole, the neighbors have been pretty good because they support us. Anytime we have fundraising, it's the neighbors.
Very often it's the small people who, their whole attitude, they want to give to something that they feel is worthwhile. And we feel that they are worthwhile, so it works both ways, for them and for us.
Our reputation as an NGO speaks for itself, so that people do not have to wonder if Servall gets money, where is it going to go? They know where it is going to go. Back to the center, back to the programs, back to the development of the young people.
Wherever a need arises, Servall looks inward first at its staff and trainees. Many of the buildings it occupies were built or renovated by its members, and functions are often catered for by members of its hospitality program. This practice not only keeps costs down, it also boosts morale by giving the trainees much deserved confidence and experience.
We do productive work in our skill training departments. It helps us in two ways, because it means that we do jobs for people, and that brings in a certain amount of money, and also it provides training because it cuts our costs.
Ever mindful of the growing pool of entities competing for